The world is full of noise. Everywhere we turn, social media, expectations, responsibilities, we are told who to be, how to act, what to want. And in that endless noise, one voice is often forgotten. The quiet whisper of love inside us. Most people search for love outside themselves. They chase it in relationships, in approval, in achievements. But true love, the kind that heals and never abandons, lives within you. This story is not just about finding love with others. It is about finding the love that flows through your soul, when your mind becomes still. This is Sophia's journey, but it is also yours. Take a deep breath. Inhale hope. Exhale the weight of yesterday. And step into this story. Sophia looked successful from the outside, a steady career, friends who admired her, a life that seemed full. But inside, she was lonely. Her mind replayed old heartbreaks like broken records. Every time she opened her heart, her thoughts whispered, "Don't. You'll be hurt again. You're not enough." Her mind had become a fortress. Strong walls, tall gates, meant to protect her, but in reality trapping her. She longed for connection, but her fears built distance. She wanted love, but her thoughts told her it was too risky. One rainy night, she sat by her window. Drops rolled down the glass, each one moving without resistance. Sophia whispered to herself, "Why can't I flow like that? Why do I resist everything?" It was the first spark. The first time she questioned the prison of her mind. Sophia joined a small meditation circle. Their teacher was gentle, calm, his presence like still water. He told them, "You are not your thoughts. You are the space beneath them. Empty your mind, and you will find what has always been waiting: love." At first, Sophia resisted. When she sat in silence, her mind screamed even louder. Every regret, every wound, every insecurity came rushing back. But the teacher guided her. "Do not fight the thoughts. Watch them. Let them pass like clouds across the sky. Do not chase love outside yourself. Sit still, and you will feel it rise from within." Slowly, with patience, Sophia began to taste moments of stillness. Tiny seconds where her mind softened, and her heart felt lighter. One morning, as dawn broke, Sophia sat in meditation. She breathed deeply, her thoughts quieter than usual, and then, she felt it, warmth in her chest, not caused by anyone else, not dependent on approval or attention. It was love, pure, silent, unconditional. Tears filled her eyes. "Is this what I've been searching for all my life? And it was here, all along." Her teacher explained, "Yes. Love is not something you beg for. It is your essence. It does not come from outside, it flows from within." This realization changed everything. For the first time, Sophia felt whole. She did not need to be chosen by others, because she had chosen herself. She did not need perfection, because love accepted her as she was. From that day forward, Sophia's life began to transform. She stopped criticizing herself for small mistakes. Instead, she spoke to herself with compassion. She forgave the past, realizing it was not an enemy but a teacher. She listened to others, without her own fears interrupting. Her presence became healing to those around her. She didn't chase love anymore. She radiated it. And naturally, love found her. Her friends noticed the change. You feel different. Lighter. Calmer. Like being around you makes everything easier. Sophia smiled. The truth was simple. She had emptied her mind of fear. And love had filled the space. One night, under the stars, Sophia reflected. Once thought love was something I lacked. I once thought I had to earn it. But now I see love is not something I chase. Love is what I am when my mind is still. She realized love is not possession. It is freedom. Love is not fear. It is trust. Love is not searching. It is being. With every breath, she felt herself flowing into love. Not just romantic love but universal love. Love for life. Love for humanity. Love for the quiet miracle of existence itself. Conclusion and guided reflection. 4850. Sophia's story is yours too. When your mind is full, love hides. But when your mind is empty, your soul shines. So now, breathe with me. Inhale love, exhale fear. Inhale peace, exhale doubt. Repeat quietly, I am love. I flow with love. Love is who I am. Carry this truth with you, empty your mind. And you will not lose yourself. You will discover the boundless love already within you. Grace is not just elegance in movement. It is a state of being. It is the calm acceptance of life as it comes. Without resistance. Without unnecessary struggle. But to live with grace, the mind must be empty. A crowded mind reacts with fear, judgment, and control. A quiet mind flows with peace, acceptance, and beauty. This is the story of Leah, a woman who discovered that when she emptied her mind, she found the grace to flow through life's challenges with strength and serenity. Lee lived a life that looked successful on the outside. She had a good job, people respected her, and she always seemed in control. But inside, she felt trapped in constant tension. She pushed herself to be perfect. She carried the weight of everyone's expectations. She thought endlessly about the past, and worried about the future. Her life felt heavy, her body tired, her mind restless. She thought grace belonged to others. The calm leaders, the gentle souls, the wise teachers, not to her. But one evening, exhausted after a long day, she sat by a river near her home. The water glistened under the moonlight, flowing gently yet powerfully. It didn't resist the rocks. It moved around them, continuing its journey. Lee whispered, "How do I learn to live like this water?" Determined to find peace, Lee sought guidance. She met an elder who had lived a simple life, known for calmness and wisdom. She asked him, "How do I stop feeling so heavy, so restless?" The elder replied, "You don't stop it, you empty it. Your mind is full of clutter, and there is no space for grace to enter. Empty your mind, and you will flow like the river you admire." At first, Lee resisted. She thought, "How can I simply empty my thoughts? My responsibilities are real. My worries are real." But the elder guided her gently. "Sit with yourself in silence each day. Breathe deeply, and let your breath carry the clutter away. Watch your thoughts as if they are clouds. Passing. Changing, never permanent." For the first time, Leah realized, her thoughts were not her. She was more than her racing mind. Lee began to practice emptiness. Each morning, she sat in silence, breathing deeply. At first, her thoughts screamed louder. But slowly, space began to open. She noticed her mornings became softer. She no longer rushed through her coffee. She tasted it fully. She began to appreciate the stillness of early hours. One day, during a stressful meeting, she felt herself growing tense. Normally, she would have jumped in, speaking fast and defending her ideas. Instead, she took a deep breath, emptied her fear, and simply listened. When she finally spoke, her words were calm, steady, and graceful. The room grew quiet. Not because she demanded attention, but because her presence carried peace. Grace was beginning to flow through her. As Lee continued to empty her mind, grace became her natural state. When plans failed, she didn't collapse in frustration. She flowed around obstacles, just like water around rocks. When people criticized her, she didn't react defensively. She responded with kindness, holding her ground without anger. When life felt uncertain, she trusted that clarity would come in time. Her relationships transformed. Friends said she felt lighter, calmer, easier to be around. At work, people looked to her not for forceful leadership, but for steady presence. She no longer chased perfection. She no longer fought against life. She allowed life to move through her. This was grace. One evening, sitting by the same river where her journey began, Leah reflected. All my life, I thought strength was about holding tighter, pushing harder, controlling more. But now I see. True strength is in letting go. When I empty my mind, I make space for grace, and grace makes me strong in ways I never imagined. She understood now grace is not weakness. It is power without aggression. Grace is not silence. It is presence without noise. Grace is not surrender to failure. It is surrender to flow. Her soul had always carried grace. It had simply been hidden beneath the noise of her mind. Leah's story is also ours. Beneath the noise, beneath the chaos, we all carry the same potential for grace. Now, take a moment with me, close your eyes, breathe in slowly, and exhale fully. Imagine your thoughts as leaves drifting down a river, floating away effortlessly. Feel the space that opens inside you. That space is grace. Carry this truth with you. When you empty your mind, you don't lose yourself. You return to yourself. You flow with grace, and in that flow, you find peace, clarity, and true strength. Every day, our minds are filled with endless noise. The to-do lists, the regrets, the questions like am I enough? Will I succeed? What if I fail? The soul is like a quiet flame, always burning, always present. But when the mind is too crowded, the light of the soul becomes hidden. This is the story of Aria, a woman who lived with a restless mind and a weary heart. She wanted peace, she wanted clarity, but her own thoughts stood in the way. Only when she learned to empty her mind did she truly open her soul. Aria's life seemed fine to the outside world. She had a job, friends, a home. But inside she lived with constant storms. At work, she replayed mistakes again and again. With friends, she often held back, afraid of judgment. At night, she lay awake, unable to silence her racing thoughts. Her soul whispered for peace, but her mind screamed too loudly. One evening, exhausted, she wandered to a quiet lake. The water was still, reflecting the moon. For a moment, She wished her mind could reflect life so clearly. She whispered, "Why can't I be like this water? Calm, peaceful, open." That night, she dreamed of walking barefoot by a river, where the current washed away her worries. She woke with a thought she couldn't ignore. Maybe I need to empty what's inside me. Soon after, Arya joined a meditation class. Her teacher, an old woman with gentle eyes, said something that struck her. "Your mind is like a room cluttered with furniture. Until you clear the space, there is no room for the soul to breathe. Empty your mind, and your soul will rise." The first time Arya sat in silence, it was torture. Her thoughts screamed louder. Old regrets replayed. She wanted to quit, but her teacher encouraged her. "Don't fight your thoughts. Watch them like clouds passing through the sky." So Arya tried again. She sat, breathed, and simply watched. Slowly, she noticed a gap between her thoughts. A stillness she had never felt before. Arya continued daily practice. Each breath emptied her of something unnecessary. She began to notice a softness in her mornings, the sound of birds she had ignored for years, a calmness in conversations. Her co-workers asked, "Why do you seem so calm lately?" Arya smiled, knowing it wasn't that her world changed, but that her inner world was finally opening. One evening in meditation, she felt a voice within. "You are not your fear. You are not your failures. You are light. You are love. You are soul." Tears filled her eyes. For the first time, she realized her soul had always been here. She had just been too noisy to hear it. With her mind clearer, Arya lived differently. She no longer reacted in anger. She listened. She forgave herself for old mistakes. She discovered new creativity at work. She found herself offering kindness, not because she had to, but because her soul naturally overflowed with it. Her relationships deepened. People trusted her presence. She no longer compared herself to others, because she understood the soul has its own path. She stopped chasing happiness outside of herself, because she discovered it was already within. Arya reflected, "All my life, I thought emptiness meant loss. But now I see, it means freedom. When I empty my mind, I create space for my soul to breathe, to shine, to lead." She realized a cup is useful because it is empty. A room is valuable because of its open space. The mind is powerful only when it is clear. Stillness was not emptiness, it was fullness. Silence was not weakness, it was strength. Her soul had always been her greatest guide. Arya's story reminds us that beneath all thoughts, all fears, all noise, lives the soul, always present, always ready to guide us. Now, take a moment with me. Close your eyes. Breathe in peace, breathe out worry. Imagine your thoughts drifting away like leaves on water. Feel the quiet space within you. That space is your soul opening. Carry this truth with you. When you empty your mind, you don't lose yourself, you discover yourself. You open your soul, and in it, you find peace, clarity, and endless possibility. Life today is noisy, not only from the outside world but from within our own minds. Thoughts come and go like restless waves. Worries about tomorrow, regrets about yesterday, and doubts about today clutter our inner space. This story follows Maya, a young woman who carried all that noise inside her. She dreamed of living a life filled with creativity, success, and peace, but her crowded mind kept her from stepping forward. Have you ever felt this way? Like you want to move ahead, but your own thoughts hold you back? Maya's journey will show you how emptying the mind doesn't mean losing. It means gaining. Because when the mind becomes still, possibilities flow in. Maya's days were long, her nights restless. She was successful in appearance but exhausted within. She overanalyzed every choice. She replayed conversations in her head, wondering if she said the wrong thing. She carried old failures like heavy stones in her pocket. Her mind was like a river blocked by debris, unable to flow. One evening, after a particularly stressful day, Maya wandered into the park. She sat by a quiet stream. The water flowed so freely, finding its way around every rock, never forcing, never stopping. She whispered to herself, "Why can't I live like this stream? Flowing, not resisting. Always moving forward." That was the beginning of change. Maya sought guidance from a meditation teacher, an old man who lived simply. She asked him, "How do I stop this endless noise inside me?" He smiled and replied, "You do not stop the noise. You empty space for silence. Empty your mind, and you will flow into life like this stream you admire." At first, silence was unbearable. The more she sat still, the louder her thoughts screamed. But the teacher told her, "Let thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. Don't fight them, don't chase them, just observe." So, Maya practiced. She closed her eyes, she breathed deeply, and for the first time, she realized her thoughts were not her. They were visitors. She could choose not to invite them in each day. Maya practiced emptying her mind. She let go of one thought at a time. She began to notice changes. Her mornings felt calmer. She stopped replaying old mistakes. She started hearing her own intuition. That quiet inner voice buried beneath the noise. One day, her company announced an opportunity. An open call for creative ideas. Normally, Maya would have hesitated, paralyzed by, "What if I fail?" But this time, her mind was clear. She thought, "Why not flow into this possibility?" She pitched her idea. And to her surprise, it was accepted. Maya began to understand life flows naturally when we stop resisting. Just as water bends around obstacles, we can bend around challenges. The emptier the mind, the more space for creativity, courage, and joy. Her relationships improved, too. Instead of always rehearsing responses in her mind, she started listening. People felt her presence. They trusted her more. Her world was changing. Not because the outside world changed, but because her inner world was transforming. Maya reflected deeply. I thought emptiness meant weakness. But now I see, it is strength. A cup is useful only because it is empty. A room is valuable only because it has space inside it. My mind, too, is powerful when it is free. She realized emptiness is clarity. Emptiness is creativity. Emptiness is possibility. She was no longer afraid of uncertainty. Instead, she welcomed it. Because she trusted that, like the stream, she would always find her way. Maya's journey teaches us this. When you empty your mind, you don't lose. You gain. You gain freedom. You gain clarity. You gain the courage to step into new beginnings. So now, close your eyes with me for a moment. Breathe in deeply. Let go of one thought that weighs you down. And imagine a flowing stream carrying it away. And feel the space inside you. Open, calm, limitless. Remember, life is always moving forward. The question is, will you resist it, or will you flow with it? Take this with you. Empty your mind. Flow into possibility.